Well, hello there. My name is Dave. Your teacher is about to assign you a group project. A group project can be a lot of fun and a great way to learn. In this short video, we'll help you learn how to organize, plan, and do a group project so that it'll be part of a fun experience. Today we're going to cover three things. What is a project? How do you organize a project? And how do you track a project? Let's start by talking about what a project is. We'll start by thinking about a project. A project has a goal. That's something you need to do. Now, what could that be? This is simply the assignment. Your teacher will normally let you know what the assignment will be marked on by providing a rubric. The rubric will probably tell you what the teacher is expecting to be in the assignment. Read it carefully. The project will have a beginning date. That's the date you'll start your project work. It's probably the date your teacher gave you the group project. A project has an end date. That's the date your project is due and needs to be handed in or presented. It's very important to understand when a project needs to be completed and to have all your work done by that date. Finally, the project will be created by your team. This is the group of people that you're working with. This might be a couple of people or a bunch of people. They might be your friends, other people from your class, and maybe some people you don't even know yet. Doing a group project can be a lot of fun. You get to share in the learning with your team, you get to learn more as a group than you would individually, and the sum of the work you create together is worth more than just the parts. Okay, remember we talked about the three main things we're going to learn today? Now we've described what a project is. Next up, we'll talk about organizing a project. To do this, you're going to need some very high-tech tools, some paper, and a pencil. Creating your project is a pretty simple process. It starts when you get your assignment. What things might be in your assignment that are important to look for? Focus in on what the assignment is about. What's the teacher telling you that your project needs to accomplish? Also, when is it due? Then you'll probably get your team together. If you don't know each other, spend a few minutes to introduce yourselves and get to know each other. What might you say to your teammates to introduce yourself? How will you remember your teammates' names? Next, you'll need to understand the assignment together. Read the assignment several times as a team. Go over the rubric carefully so you really understand what your teacher wants, and when the project is due. Discuss amongst your teams and ask questions of your teacher. This is your opportunity as a team to figure out what you're trying to do with the project. Once you know what you're going to do, you need to break your project into doable parts that each person can work on. You need to break down your project into chunks of work that you and your teammates can work. Get a big blank piece of paper and start to write your plan down. Think about the final outcome for your project. What does it need to be? To get to that end, what are all the pieces of work that you need to do? List out the work that needs to be done. Maybe you have a project to do about a city, so you'll want to write about what the history is, the geography of the city, the main industries in the city, and attractions in the city. Each of these topics could be a part of your outline. You should also remember to cover other things to pull your project together, like an introduction, a conclusion, and the editing and compiling work you'll need to do as a team. Did you miss anything? Take a few minutes to think about other tasks you might need to do to finish your project, but don't worry too much if your plan doesn't have everything in it. You can always add to it later. Now that you've got a list of everything that needs to be done, try to guess at how long each piece of work should take. This is just an estimate. You don't have to be right, but it's good if you can be close. For example, in our city project, maybe you estimate that it will take 2 hours to research the city's history and 2 hours to write up the 3 pages of information, including a picture on each page, for a total of 4 hours. Go ahead and estimate each piece of work together with your team. If you have any piece of work that is too big, maybe you need to break that into 2 pieces. In our assignment here, maybe there are 2 big industries you need to cover, and so you break that out. Try and make the tasks you create so that they'll all be about the same size. When you were estimating the work, did you think about anything else you need to do? If you realize that you're missing tasks, you can add them now and estimate them. Again, however, don't worry about that too much now. You can always add to this later. Now that you've created your work tasks and estimated the work, it's time to figure out who's going to do what work. At this point, you probably should lay out your expectations for each piece of work. For example, for the city project, maybe each section should be 3 pages long and include a picture on each page. Once you've done that, you may need to update your estimate. That's okay. The process of creating a plan is a constant cycle of thinking about the work you need to do and improving your plan. Now it's time to assign work to people. Step up and volunteer to do the work you want to do. If more than one person wants to do a certain piece of the project, you may need to draw straws or something to decide on who's going to do each task. You may find that you have some tasks that no one wants to do. That's normal. You may have to draw straws or something like that to assign this work. Finally, there may be tasks that everyone on your team needs to do together. Write down each task owner's name beside the task they're going to do. Everyone should have work assigned when you're done, and it should be a fair share of the project work. This means that if you add up the estimated work for each person, it should be about equal to everyone else. If it isn't, you may need to trade some work around or break up some tasks into smaller pieces that can be shared. Once you think you have a good plan and it's all written down, show it to your teacher and get your teacher's help in making sure your team has a good plan for creating your project and getting the work done on time. Now that you've got the basic idea, it's time for you to try creating a plan on your own. This is a little something I call a project planning exercise. No, that's boring. This is a snack planning exercise. On your own, I want you to plan a snack for your group for tomorrow morning. It has to be something tasty, it has to be healthy, it has to be fun to eat. What will it be? How will you make it? Remember the planning steps. Read the rubric and understand what you're supposed to do. Get some paper and a pencil so you can create your plan. Break down the work into small doable pieces. Estimate the work. Assign the work. Okay, take 10 minutes and create your plan. Pause this video here while you do that. Okay, back to the 3 things we're learning today. We've described what a project is. We've talked about organizing a project. The last thing we'll talk about today is updating your project status. As your team works on the project, you'll want to update your plan to show what work has been done and by who, and how much work is left to do. A great way to do this while you're working on your group project is to take a few minutes every day and get together in your group. Everyone should show what they're working on, and you can update your plan to show what work is started and what work is done. As you update your plan, you may find that there is other work that needs to be done and assigned, and that should be added to your plan. You may also find that some of your original planned work doesn't make sense anymore. Don't be afraid to change your plan. Review your updated plan with your teacher. Talk about the progress you've made, any problems you're having with unstarted or incomplete work. Also talk about any additions or changes you think you should make to your plans. Your teacher should be able to help you with any problems you have in terms of getting work done. When you're done, make sure your entire plan has check marks showing what work was done and who did it. Your teacher may want you to hand this in with your project. This will help your teacher know who did what work on each part of the project. Okay, let's look back at the course content. We've described what a project is, we've talked about organizing a project, and now we've finished by talking about simple updates to your project status. Let's wrap up this short course with a group exercise. In this exercise, you're going to work in small groups of 3 to 4 people. Like our last exercise, the goal is to create a short project plan. Let's set the scene for your group project. Your assignment is to plan a small event at your school. You get to choose what the event is. Maybe it's a club meeting, maybe it's a pizza lunch, maybe it's a talent show, or maybe it's something you choose in your group. The first part of your assignment is to choose what event you're going to organize. The event must happen 1 week from now. You'll need some advertising. You'll need an agenda or a plan for the event. You might need to find people to do a presentation or to be the master of ceremonies. What else will you need to have in place to make your event successful? Remember the planning steps. Read the rubric and understand what you're supposed to do. Get some paper and a pencil so you can create your plan. Break down the work into small, doable pieces. Estimate the work. Assign the work. Okay, take 30 minutes and create your plan. When you're done, you and your group will present your plan to the class. Pause the video here while you create your plan. Thanks for paying attention to this short course on creating and managing a project. We hope this will help you organize your group work and make your group work more interesting, more fun, and more successful.